Hey, welcome to the WeatherWise platform. We've made a lot of changes recently, so I want to make sure that you have an overview of all of the different ways in which you can get information and data and results from the WeatherWise platform. So starting off is the dashboard. This is probably where you're seeing this video. From here, you can navigate to any of the key reports. You can also learn more about EHAB, and we've got our documentation at the bottom, and you can also get support. So if you need help, then please do message us through the little chat on the right bottom corner, and we will do our best to get in touch with you and help you. So starting with the reports tab, here is where you can find the majority of the stuff that you will need. There's a weather forecast tab. This basically allows you to look at all of the different aspects of your plan and get forecast warnings for the next 2 weeks. We also have a new product called WeatherWise Studio, where you can also get more detailed granular data if that is what you need. Historical weather is a really great place to start. It allows you to build reports using any of the many variables that we have in the system. So as you can see, we've got variables linked to temperature, like soil temperature, dew point, of course, wet bulb as well, precipitation, where you can have cloud cover, rainfall, precipitation, snowfall, also wind speeds at different heights, 100 meters and 10 meters, wind directions, solar, radiation, flood and river, marine. We have several marine now, so if you're doing offshore projects, then you can generate reports using these. And all you have to do is select from some of the standard templates, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, or you can specifically select the amount of data that you want. Then you can then select which items you want in your report, and you just click Generate Analysis. We've improved the loading times, so for data for anywhere on planet Earth, you can get this really quickly and easily to create a report that's going to help you understand the weather in a particular location. So you'll get the historical summary of all of the data. So the soil temperature back 10 years, like I requested, and then also we'll give you a summary and aggregation of that information, so you can start to understand on a monthly basis what the P20 mean, P80 is for temperature, dew point, etc. So you can start to see what are the patterns in the information, and this can be really useful. You can also export this. If you click Control P, you can print this and it will be in an exportable format. Then what I'd recommend you check out is the weather rules. So weather rules are a way that we can start to put that data into the construction context. And so we have 150 common categories. You can search them by name. So let's go cranes and lifting. And what we have here are standard thresholds that apply to the weather in a particular location, which you can change, and then it will show you how many down days cranes and lifting, for example, is likely to experience. So once your data loads in, you can then see basically how many days per month on average the cranes and lifting activity will be broken. But this is entirely linked to the thresholds that are set here. So if I go to wind, for example, by clicking here, I can see that at the moment, the gentle breeze is what is limiting this. So I can actually decrease this, and that will update the chart, and it's going to show me a new set of data based on how often this rule would break. So it's much more sensitive, clearly. So if I want to keep this rule, then I have to click Save Changes. If I just want to get rid of it, then I can go back and click Undo. So we've updated how the V2 works. We use kilometers per hour now. This is due to the how the data is being received by us with the new data set that we're using. But you can add in lots of different things. So we have wind speeds at heights now, wind gusts. You can also set specific directions from which that rule will or won't be broken. And you'll notice that we're trying to add little bits of context here. So like saying that it's a gentle breeze, telling you that based on the operator that you've set, which is above or below, then the work can proceed on days where peak wind gusts at 10 meters is below 12 kilometers per hour. So hopefully by reading the information on the screen and by understanding a bit more about what's happening with the rules, you can make informed decisions. You can also always add new categories, giving them a new name, and going through this flow to add a new rule as well. We've also introduced other risk matrix actions. So if you have an organizational default, you can load it here. If you've changed the default by several times, you can compare against the original. So you'll see the tab here is the overview tab of what you currently have, and then you'll see the new default tab, which is here, which is not editable. So if you want to then actually go and edit something, then you need to close. We also allow you to copy from another project. So if you have a project that you recently did where you had a risk matrix which you think is useful, then you can just click from here, and I can click from any of my other projects that I'm looking at that I can even search in here as well. So if I need to find a project from the long list that I have in the system, then you can do that here. So this replaces the original ability that we had to upload spreadsheets. That mechanism was introducing too many issues, so that's why we've changed to this new mechanism. You can also always download this as a print view, and then this gives you a report of the items that you have in the list. What you can also do, if you wish, is hide some of these items. So if you want to just have a list which just has the empty columns removed, for example, or if you upload a plan, you can then just have the items that are in your plan here. There's a little toggle that gets added here. So I recommend that you play around with some of this functionality because there's quite a few different things in here now that you can do. So if I want to get rid of some of these items, then I can remove them from the list. And you can see that I have 150 visible, 3 that are hidden. Yeah, I can customize this report however I want and need. Remember, if you have made changes and you want those changes to be retained, then you need to click the Save Changes button here, and that will save that as the new risk matrix that you are using. Under the location-based downtime reports, this is where you can get your actuals data. So you can load in a report which tells you how severe a particular month was. You can select if you want all of the data that we have available, 79 to 26, or you can just get the last 10 years or the last 20, for example, or even a custom range. This will again give you a report which says, has it broken the 1 in 10 year value? You can also say 1 in 20, 1 in 50. That is also available to you if you wish to understand how severe a particular event was. And I'll show you what this looks like once it loads. So here, what we'll do is we'll look at the data that just occurred, what the average is, and what the 1 in 10 year value is. So for my Houston project location, this was actually, in fact, a very low rainfall month. There was many less days than they normally have in the long-term average, and much less than the 1 in 10. But there were more days of ground frost than there normally are, and there was a higher average monthly wind speed than normal as well. So this gives you the ability to break down into every single day. When did the rain fall? What was the cumulative rainfall? Did snow fall? And the little blue items here are the weekend days, so that you can see which days are the weekend days in the data that we're giving you, including the solar radiation, mean wind speeds, etc. So you get quite a lot of information in this report. Moving into the actual schedule analysis aspect of the tool, there'll be a deeper, longer video that you can follow along. But effectively, you just progress through the steps. So you select your site, you review your weather rules, which you may have already done in the other screen. Then you import your plan. So you can import any type of plan here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move over to a project that I previously had. So you can use this menu here, or you can use the top left menu to select the project that you want to work on. So I'm going to go to my normal demo project here in the main division. I'm going to go to my Cardiff port site and review the weather rules. I can import the plan. It will list any plans that we already have in here. I can then see my P6 plan is here. You'll then have to assign categories. So we have 2 mechanisms to do that. You can either use activity codes. We already have codes in here, which we can use to then filter by what activity type. You can search in this categories box here. So it helps you more quickly find the category that you wish to match. Or you can go to the manual categorization tab, which then allows you to go one by one and select the items that you need to select. And you can use select all, you can filter, you can search, so that you can make the matches here. And as you can see, I've got 35 categories in use, 411 activities assigned. And you can see if I wanted to go into the detail and open this up and see which activities exactly are matched to what category. What I can then get from here is a report, which will tell me, based on 1,000 simulations, how likely this plan is to be delayed by the weather. So let's have a quick look. What we get information on is when was the planned end date of the project, and then we give you the best case scenario in the min, which had 300 weather days, the worst case scenario, which had almost 500 weather days. All of the different paths are different because this is a probabilistic model. And so days may not exactly line up because different activities have different calendars. But ultimately, what we're giving you is a overall set of probabilistic data, which you can also dig into more detail here as well. And if you click down here into any of the weeks, you can then get a full breakdown of the activities that have already been delayed, what were the activities that actually have weather risk associated to it. So some of the activities can be delayed by preceding weather risk, and some will actually have weather risk associated to it. Like this particular activity has 55 weather days associated to it. That is because the rules and the thresholds that have been set just continue to get broken in this particular instance, and the activity is pushed forward. This could be due to something severely cold. Then when it's in winter, if that sensitive threshold to temperature is broken, then it's going to push the entire activity out until you can actually run that activity. So that's why the rules that you set in the weather rules tab and report is really important, because that defines everything that kind of flows from that. The milestone impact analysis similarly allows you to look at different milestones, not just the end date of the program. And so you can select which milestone that you want to see the critical path delay for. And we'll show you the critical path delay associated with any of those given items. If you want to integrate this into your schedule, then all you have to do is go to the integrations tab. We now have a new OPC API. So if you want to use that, then please just get in touch. It's as simple as turning on the API in your software, and then you'll be able to import those risks directly in without having to do a file transfer. You can also use Asta Power Project or P6 on premises. We're going to be building an Asta Power Project Vision API very soon. But if you want to use this Asta Power Project plugin, then please ask us, as there is a file that you need to download to update your Asta Power Project to work with it. But once you've decided on how you're going to use this, then you can preview the calendars. And these are going to be deterministic calendars. Therefore, there will be exception days in your program that are blocked out. And at the 50th percentile, the exception days are always going to be blocked out on the days that are most likely to occur in any given week. So I'll show you what that looks like. So we have our different categories. I'll just hide them all except, for example, for asphalt. So for asphalt, we can see that in March and April, there are less days in the summer. And then as we come back into winter, there'll be more and more days, and basically January and February are blocked, and then coming back into 2027. So this is the deterministic calendar that goes into P6 and into Asta, very similar approach. The risk integrations are all different for each and every one of the tools. Acumen does it by month. There's a number of options here. You can watch the video and figure out how to integrate into Acumen there. Nodes and Links does it differently. Oracle Remote Cloud does it differently, as well as Safran Risk as well. So all of them have videos associated to them, and you can follow along with these. And if you need help, just get in touch with us and we'll be happy to help. Finally, if you want to add more users, if you want to add more credits, if you want to unlock any of the modules, each and every item on the page is unlockable. If you want to unlock all of them at a discounted rate, then you can get in touch with us and we can help you do that. But you can go to billing and credits. I currently have unlimited mode, but you can basically buy credits that will then be able to be spent on anything, or you can unlock specific modules. You can just go ahead and do that with your credit card. You can add more users from the admin dashboard. You can also delete divisions, delete projects, delete sites, delete plans, or edit those plans. And adding users is as simple as just adding a new user and entering their information, and then you'll have to send them an email to be able to get them into the system. So thanks so much for listening. Let us know if you have any questions, and we're happy to help.